Hi, my name is Nik-Keisha Moody, and I'm going to share with you some answers to some questions about my challenges and successes at George Brown College. So the first question we have here is, how did you hear about George Brown? So I actually attended George Brown back in 2007 when I took my PSW certificate. So when it came time for me to leave the PSW field and try something new, because I had already attended George Brown and I was successful in, becoming an alumni from that specific program, I thought, hey, why not? Why not go back to something that I already know? I knew about the resources there. I knew how to get there in terms of transportation. So I was very much so knowledgeable about George Brown and just felt it was probably just best to go back to what I knew. So the second question is, what inspired you to go to George Brown? Well, being a PSW was really awesome. I do enjoy the one-on-one with my clients, but what I found was I was a single mother of 4. And I realized that in order to feed my children, clothe them, take care of them, allow them to do different activities, it was time for me to choose a career where I was going to be able to do that, and therefore it was because of them. So I figured, hey, you know what? I was going to go into the diploma program, and through attending George Brown, I was doing my special event planning program, and I also realized very quickly as well that there's opportunities for special event planning program, but there wasn't as much. So once again, I decided to say, hey, I'm just going to continue my education by taking the hospitality degree program, and that would give me the opportunity to enter in perhaps even entry-level managerial positions such as being a supervisor. So I did it for my children. I understand the importance of giving them more, and I want to do that for them. Number 3, what is most appealing to you about your course? One of the things that I really enjoyed about my courses was that it was being taught by individuals that have worked in the industry. So when it came to presenting the course material, it was really good to hear stories and experiences and things that tied in well with the actual course materials. Professors were also willing to share stories outside of class, and it kind of helped me and motivated me and painted this picture around where I could be, where I wanted to be. So it was definitely having the faculty, the industry individuals, whether they were still in the industry or whether they weren't, it was valuable for me. And I feared that I was in the right place if somebody wanted to talk about and share with other people information about the industry through courses through George Brown. As well as the hands-on material. So if we're talking specifically about the hospitality degree program, they do have the option where, not really an option, you gotta do it, but you have to go and take a co-op. So I was able to do my co-op at the Drake Hotel, and that along with the schooling, it truly shaped my decision moving forward on where I wanted to be inside the hospitality industry. So what's your favorite memory, best time you had while at George Brown? What's your favorite memory? Honestly, my favorite memory would have to just be the people. Generally, when it came to the faculty, when it came to the staff, when it came to the students, time could not go by sweeter or even quicker without not having good people around you. And I think the memories that I have had are really just generally about the journey that I took and the individuals that I was able to embark with. The times that I had my low times and the times that I had great times. There were so many different memories, but all those memories truly were a reflection of the great people that I was able to surround myself around, the like-minded people, the ones who were inspired by who I was and what I was doing. There were so much memories about the people and the culture there at George Brown and the community. That's the best memory that I will have forever, because I realize that we're in an industry, we're in a world where people are and forever will be and forever will make us who we are, through dialogue, through discussions, through everything. So I have so much memories. My memories are just mainly about people and what they've done for me, and also what I could have done for them in the moment or for whatever reason it could be. But definitely it's just the people, I can't stress anything further. What's your favorite memory, best time you had while at George Brown? It's definitely the people. There was tons of trips that we went on. There was There was little you would have went for lunch at times with people, going out perhaps even just for drinks, just for something. I'm just now taking in that my memory is truly based on people, and how much people came together to work on assignments, how much people came together to reflect on term by term by term. It was people, people. I met great people. My favorite memory is meeting great people. What was the hardest part about your time at George Brown? Yes. So the hardest part about my time at George Brown was when I transitioned from the diploma program to the degree program. It was harder because the workload was different. The expectations and things that required from you were different as in comparison to the special event planning program, like a diploma program, to the hospitality degree. It was quite different. And it was a huge adjustment for me because I was working part-time, and I realized that I still had to find a way to take care of my growing family. At this point in time, when I had started school 4 years ago, all my children were under the age of 8. And it was just difficult financially to be able to day by day, do all the little basic necessities, as well as strive and stay self-motivated to complete something that I knew was going to be beneficial for me. Like, I knew it hands down, but the constant self-motivation every single day and the little things that would just kind of throw you off guard, that's what made the hardest parts of George Brown. But also made those hardest times made it the greatest times in the end. So, no complaining over here. What additional challenges did you face while attending George Brown? So, when it came to my children, the biggest thing for me was financial. It was the financial aspect of it. Being in school, my social life, it was minimal, and I had to pick and choose what I could do, where I could go, when I could do it, if I had certain assignments coming up. But it's just, I guess the challenge truly was balancing still being a mother, still being a student, and being friends and family. Being a friend and being a family to my members, my family members, to my friends, whatever the case may be, and really wanting to just be perfect at what I did when it came to my studies and not having anything impact that. So, and then realizing at the same time that it is important to have that balance, to go out and do certain things with your family and friends. That was a big challenge because I knew where I wanted to go next. I knew how important it was to get to where I needed to be. And then explaining that to people on a constant basis, trying to explain to them that you have a vision that they may not see, but just explaining to others where I had to go and what I had to do was really hard because I didn't have the money to go anywhere, really, to be honest with you, and I didn't have the time. So the two things that were very challenging for me was time and money. Very, very challenging. What was your first accomplishment with George Brown? My first accomplishment with George Brown. I think for me, there's been so many. Like, I even look back and I say, man, I should have sat down and written down everything. I've had the opportunity of completing my certificate in wedding planning. I still have one more course left to be able to get my baking pre-employment certificate. I was able to do my co-op placement at the Drake Hotel, and if it wasn't for me having to take a co-op program, me having to take the degree and having that co-op portion embedded in it, I don't know if I would have sought something in terms of finding employment to match that with my degree, to be able to have that. And it was because of that I was able to go to Drake Hotel, apply for food and beverage supervisor as a part of their development program. And there were so many great things that came after that, because since then, it's like the amount of networking that I did, a lot of people would share with me exciting opportunities. I was able to apply for Starwood Hotels and Resorts and manager and training program. I think that was the biggest, to be honest. It was the biggest accomplishment that I received through George Brown, because my schooling had so much to do with it. And even when it came down to me as an individual, my personality, first impressions make yours count. I took that slogan and I lived it. I breathed it. I made that who I was today, because George Brown shaped me completely, from my dress code to how I approach people, to my mannerism, to my analytical thinking, my how I do conflict resolution. There's so many different things that I was able, and I think when we were just talking about biggest accomplishment, what I'm most proud of my time from George Brown, I think I'm truly proud of my development. My development as a woman, as a mother to 4 growing boys. I think I'm truly just grateful for what I was capable of doing in a community such as George Brown, because there's plenty of resources. There were amazing people that wanted to see me do good, and I think personally that's what I'm most proud of. I have to say, and I don't want it to sound vain in any way, but the most proud moment at my time at George Brown is my self-development. I'm very proud of who they turn people into. They turn people into great people. I could not say that I would have been who I am today without the helping hand of George Brown. Number 9, do you feel confident you will find work with your George Brown education? Are you currently working anywhere? So yes, George Brown gets you the job. I don't know who anybody's kidding. I mean, you just truly have to network. I did a lot of that, and through networking, I was able to connect with people within the college, to connect with other people outside the college. As I said, one of the accomplishments I was speaking about was Starwood Hotels and Resorts. When I had applied as a student for their program, and I received the job. It's a 1-year program where you are training to be a manager. And that would have been finished April of this year, and I was able to apply for a food and beverage supervisory position, which I received in May. So, as I said, everything leading up to where I am today is because of my education, hands down. And of course, I love George Brown so much that I just couldn't leave. I could not leave. So I do currently work on campus as well. I work full-time at the hotel, and I work part-time at George Brown. I am the student life and welcome desk assistant at Casa Loma campus. So I do balance between the two, because what's so good about where I have come in my life is that the hotel provides my financial stability. It allows me to do the things that I never could do with my children, whether it's clothing them accordingly or taking them on trips. And then, when you start evaluating your life and where you want to go next, I do, as a single mother, and I've incurred some debt, and there's things I need to take care of. So taking on the part-time job is helping to alleviate some of my financial strain. Although I'm still not able to, see my children as much, I'm doing this for them. But once again, George Brown didn't just take me through my college years. It's still here for me. It's allowing me to make money. It's allowing me to feed my children, and I'm forever grateful for that. So I'm working, and I'm happy, and I'm very grateful for all and everything that I've gone through. It's amazing, quite frankly. It's absolutely amazing to be a graduate with a full-time and a part-time job. I mean, I couldn't ask for more. And, in the future, I may not necessarily need to work 2 jobs. It's not something I'm going to need to do, but through everything I'm doing is going to teach me more and more life skills about managing and about organization and about coordination. It's going to push me further, and just very grateful for that. So yes, I'm working. Woo-hoo! And last but not least, did you work a part-time job while attending George Brown? Yes, I did. So I started off, in my first year I did a lot of volunteer work, and through the volunteer work I was able to find out about different things that were being offered at the school. So basically my second year, I ended up working for the Student Association for 2 years. And then in my last year, which was my degree program last year, I ended up doing work for the college. So I did event planning for the Research and Innovation Department. And it was fun. It was really, really fun. And I enjoyed everything that I did. And yeah, I had to work. I didn't really have a choice. It was hard. But everything prepared me for where I wanted to go next, because I continue to meet great people. So, any other story about your GBC experience you'd like to share? So, I think the couple things that stand out for me in my head is that networking is very much so key. Taking advantage of the resources that are made available to you is what was able to shape me to where I am today. having the connection with the communities. We're talking about from your peers to your faculty, from your staff. I mean, when you ask questions, you'll receive answers, and if you don't find it, you're going to keep going and going and going until you find something where we can work with that. Overall, the long days that I did, the term by term, we're like, am I almost finished? You just have to be truly grateful for those who are around you and surrounding you. It's just quite amazing. George Brown's a renowned college. They offer a lot of things, but it's truly up to the individual, to that student, to really seek out all the opportunity that's available to them. And I did that. And I get to look in my life right now and say, because I never gave up, because not for a second I gave up, I now know what it feels like. I know what hard work feels like. I know what it is to reach a goal. And there's no better feeling than going to college, receiving this type of accomplishment, and not taking that with you every step of the way. So, I create goals for myself all the time. And because I know the opportunity that was given to me to graduate and find a career, I know that the feeling to be able to get through your goals was the best thing that I could do as a graduate and now an alumni, because I'm going to take that with me everywhere I go. I want goals. I want to see results. I've done it. I know what it feels like. And that's what I continue to keep having with me every time I do step by step by step. And my goals are very horizontal. I'm thinking about ways to make sure I'm just continuing to do my growth and currently elevating myself. So thank you. I just want to thank you for taking the time to listen to me. I'm very passionate about George Brown College. I'm very passionate about what I currently do in the hospitality industry. I'm very passionate about connecting with people, getting them on board with schooling. So thank you for this opportunity. Thank you for listening to me, and have yourself a wonderful day. Thank you. Bye-bye.